All right, so we're going to start off today and go over a 10-part movement assessment. Now, this is going to be a general idea of how your body moves, both in your stability, your mobility, and your overall neuromuscular control, your coordination. So this is going to give a starting picture for how well you're moving and how well you can control your body. Now, understand, these 10 tests are designed to show a general picture of every joint in your body, but they're not thorough. This is not some, you pass this, you're injury-free, you're going to be perfect, but this is a great place to go. Now, there is also value in doing things like dynamic tests as well as static tests, and most of these are going to be static. Dynamic is going to be quick, like sprinting and jumping, versus static, which is going to be more of a posture and a position. There's value in both, but from a starting position, we're going to keep things simple and go into mostly static and postural tests. Now, these are also going to be things that you want to focus on the quality of each movement. And never allow any compensations to cheat the test and get the next point, because you're only hiding from yourself. So focus on the best quality, and if you can't make things happen symmetrically, you can't get to what would be a 3, that's okay. That's what we work on, right? The other thing is that if you have any type of pain or significant asymmetry that where you can't do it, you get a 0 on that. And even if you get perfect scores on all 9 and then one test you get a 0, that's still a red flag. So just because you get a passing score, it doesn't mean that you're clear. Any 0, any pain needs to be something you take care of and look at immediately. Talk to a professional, a therapist, or a doctor to work on that if there is pain that's causing you from moving well. But understand that the biggest indicator of injury is going to be previous pain and asymmetry. So focus on doing the best you can, work through these, and let's see, get an accurate baseline of where you're at, and then we're going to retest this in a few weeks to see how well you've improved. All right, so do this, we'll record your score, and we'll move forward. Let me know how you do after that.
All right, first up we have our standing toe touch. Big thing to look for is just making sure you can get to your toes. And if you can put your hands all the way on the ground, like grab underneath your shoes, you probably got too much flexibility, but that's another topic. Then we're looking at your shoulder rotation. You want to be able to grab the hands behind your back evenly. The big thing to look for is making sure that that shoulder that's reaching behind is not dumping forward significantly. And it's okay if there's a little asymmetry, this is what we'll work on. Then we've got our standing single leg toe touch. The goal here is to get 5 in a row unbroken. You stand all the way back up so that knee is driving up to show full extension at the hips. And your goal is to use the feet, the ankle, and the knee to create stability here. Again, this isn't a huge mobility, but this is more of a coordination test. Then we have our seated ankle plantar flexion. This is just making sure that you have full extension at the ankles, and if you can lean back to really get that full range of motion, that's great, but as long as you can sit down without pain or significant discomfort, you're in a good spot. Next, we have our squat. Now, you want to be able to sit all the way down, and it's helpful to do this in front of a mirror to look out and watch for any type of compensation, as I'll show you. But you want to be able to get the hips far all the way down. Remember, this is not an exercise, this is a movement. Things to watch out for are if the feet splay out and the ankles and knees collapse in, or if you can't go all the way down. It's hard for me to do that, and then you lose that if your knees can't go forward. Then we have our lunge. Things to look for here are that you have a full range of motion and that you're driving the knee forward into full dorsiflexion. And second, you want to make sure that you are not collapsing in. Now this is one where you'll see the back foot compensating and collapsing in, and you'll lose that balance as the foot collapses in, so make sure you're even on both sides. Then we have our hip rotation. So we're going to start off with the hands on the ground. That should be fairly easy, and the next step up is doing it without the hands on the ground. And then finally, you want to be able to have the range of motion to be able to rotate left and right, and then lift that foot of the inside knee off the ground. So if you can do that without the hands on the ground, you've got good in the hip range of motion at the rotation, so that'll be a score of a 3. Then we're looking at our ankle dorsiflexion here, and you're simply balancing on one foot, keeping the heel on the ground and reaching to 12 inches and all the way to 24 inches if you can. It's a balance and coordination test. Next, we have our somersault. Now, this may seem kind of silly, but this is really important in terms of your overall spine health. So you want to be able to go and have coordination to land on your feet, and if you're all the way down to that asymmetrical part, that's okay, but something to work on. And the bonus points is if you can roll and then roll backwards. That's bonus points. And then finally, we have our stand up without using your hands. Start on your stomach, lay all the way down. Now with this, you're working on both sides. So you've got your rolling to your right with the left foot in front of you, and then you're rolling to the left with your right foot in front of you, and you're just doing that as you stand up and lay back down. It's just showing health in the knees, ankles, hips, and overall coordination.